Maybe it's because we come to know them as grown men. Sometimes it's hard to imagine an NFL linebacker as a boy.
Brown scoops it up, walks into the end zone.
I'm biracial. My father's black, my mother's white. So I've always been able to see both sides. I grew up in Southern California, so over-policing has been a part of my life as long as I can remember. Being harassed by the police, my entire football team being chased as we drive home from games. I've had my hands on the hood of a police car more often than I would like. I've been in the back of a police car more often than I would like. I've been handcuffed. And all these things are completely unjust, and I did not do anything to cause the police to do this to me.
Chad Brown's childhood experiences morphed into a new reality when he arrived in Boulder.
Boulder was tough. Walking across campus wearing my Letterman's jacket, and there's a police officer in a car following me as I'm walking. How can I help but feel anything but incredibly threatened? And I'm fighting every instinct in my body just to run. Because I've known how this has gone down in my home in Southern California. I gotta run, otherwise bad things will happen.
It was a struggle Coach Bill McCartney saw in many of his players.
It took a couple of years before I think Coach McCartney realized that we've got to do more than just drop these kids into this place and expect them to thrive. So part of that was when we went to road games and we had home games, Coach McCartney would have the local police, 2 or 3 officers a game, stay with us during that whole weekend. And it was great because we could have some honest conversations with those officers, and they could have some honest conversations with us. And it really broke down those barriers, because in the end, it's fear. It's fear that drives, racial injustice. It's fear that drives racism.
The death of George Floyd and the protests this summer led to new family talks. Chad's experiences resonated in a different way, one that his kids didn't really understand when he was playing in the NFL.
So they were surrounded by other kids of privilege. Some of them were athletes' kids, but kids of privilege. So they weren't familiar with these stories, certainly not with my stories. So a chance to share with them and to give them some perspective on, this is why I say these things to you. This is why I tell my son, hey, you're the only brown one there. They're gonna notice you. The police are gonna see you. If there's trouble breaking out, they're gonna come find you.
A dad, a husband, a son. A former football player sharing his story. And while athletes have a long history of speaking up, this time he thinks the message is here to stay.
If you're watching sports, you couldn't help even watching games. That is still part of the NFL. It's still going to be part of women's basketball, still going to be part of men's basketball. Those messages aren't going to go away. So for those folks who are uncomfortable with that, hopefully you find a way to get yourself comfortable, because this is not going to just disappear. It wasn't just a 2020 thing. But in the end, most people are good. And most of the time, our racism is driven by fear. And how do we get rid of fear? By conversations, by talking, by understanding, by gaining some perspective.